Before I became an ag teacher, I grew up on a horse farm, so I worked on the horse farm. I rode, trained, and showed horses most of my life. When I graduated high school and went to college, I worked at a preschool for all through college. And I also worked on different farms during the summer, completing internships to get farm experience. Some included dairy farms, Angus farms, and a couple sheep and goat farms.
After graduating from East Carolina University, I left up and got a corporate marketing job for Aaron Rents out of Raleigh, North Carolina. This was where Fortune 500 companies or any company would actually set up apartments. They would bring some of their employees from all over the world to live in the area. And so they would call us for us to furnish the apartments. I really enjoyed this job. One, because I would come in and check in, and then I was out and about and kind of on my own all weekend or all week. It was really neat to set up apartments for people. I enjoyed that. I needed to have a BSBA in marketing for this job.
At the age of 14, I started working with my dad at his insurance agency. My senior year of high school, I worked at a grocery store. While I went through college, I worked at an insurance agency in Belmont, as well as at the YMCA as a swim instructor. After graduation from college, I continued to work with my dad as I had my insurance license at that point. Additionally, I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car for 2 years as a management trainee, and I opened an airport branch in New Bern, North Carolina. And after that, I worked at an apartment complex for a few months before I became a teacher. I loved my jobs in industry because they gave me a different day every day, and every day was unique and fun. Things I needed to know was how to be good with people, how to handle rude people, but nice people, make them feel valued, and knowing how to use the computer and being able to do things on my own without prompting was a very important aspect of my job.
I started out my construction career at the age of 14. I went and got a special work permit, worked as a cleanup laborer on a residential apartment complex. From there, I started working every summer on construction sites and holidays. In my high school days, I started working for a general contractor who I later went to work for. I started out as a laborer, worked my way all the way up through carpenter to assistant superintendent, general superintendent. And then I switched companies and went as a project manager. What I liked about my experience is it was mostly hands-on. I was lucky to have mentors and good companies to work for who invested in their employees and were willing to train people like me and give me a chance. So I didn't really have to go and get certifications, even though those employers did pay for me to go back and get certain courses to be proficient in what I was involved with at the time. So I feel like I had a very good construction career with some very good employers.
Before West Carteret, I worked for Onslow County Schools as a business teacher there, also cheer coach. And before I got back into teaching, I worked at Hertz in Charleston, South Carolina at their airport location. It was an awesome job. I got to take home whatever vehicle I wanted for the weekend. I also was insurance sales agent. That was pretty interesting. Got to meet a lot of cool people. As far as certifications are required for those jobs, it definitely helped having a business degree, especially for the Hertz management. And I have my green belt with Six Sigma, which is pretty interesting. You definitely should get something like that. The Microsoft certifications also would help with both insurance and working in the business field, because you can use Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and you have a knowledge and you beat out the competition that you're applying for the job against. It's pretty cool.
In addition to being a teacher, I've been the director of operations for a multi-million-dollar organization. This job required a 4-year degree as well as certifications and additional training that changed from year to year. I also served as the athletic director for the Carteret County Schools for 8 years, as well as several other fun and exciting jobs along the way.
So other than being a teacher, I've been an executive chef, a prep cook, a line cook, a hostess, basically every job that a restaurant has to offer. And I can honestly say I enjoyed each one. I got to meet people, interact with people from all around the world. I got my Serve Safe certification a couple years ago, and it really opened a lot of doors for me. I was able to even get a better hourly wage than some other line cooks that were working with me.
Hey guys, it's Miss Putnam. Prior to teaching, I worked in accounting because I had an accounting degree first before I became a teacher. I worked for a CPA. I worked for nonprofit organizations. I worked as a financial analyst for Food Line in Salisbury at their main office. I liked all of those different jobs that I had the opportunity to work in. It did take a lot of time and hours. I had to put in a lot of hours for those positions. But I got to meet a lot of different people and do a lot of different things and had great experiences. I also had the opportunity, once I worked through those different positions, to own my own business. I had a children's clothing store and owned that for about 7 years before I started teaching. And that was a great experience. It gave me a lot of experience to help my students, especially in my entrepreneurship classes, to talk about how to start up a new business. So that was a great background piece to have prior to coming into teaching, so that I had that hands-on experience in those areas.
Hey, the question was about what jobs I've had in the past. I was a Marine for most of my adult life, from 1987 to 2014 when I retired. Certifications I needed for that were many, and most of them were provided by the Marine Corps. You had to have a bachelor's degree to be an officer, which is what I was, and there are all kinds of certs and sort of things that would benefit somebody going into a career in the Marine Corps if they weren't perhaps just wanting to go to college. Knowing how to weld would be good if you're going to be a mechanic of any kind. Knowing how to use simple tools. The list goes on and on. There's probably hundreds of things that would help you. And I'd certainly be glad to discuss it with anybody if they're interested in going into the Marines or military in general.